Hey lovelies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mokobe Elsbili. If you're seeing me for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope that you will love it here and I hope that you will definitely subscribe. And to all my new subscribers, I just want to say thank you so much for subscribing. Welcome to the lovely squad. And to all my returning subscribers, thank you so much for the continuous support and the engagement. I really appreciate you. So today we are going to be reviewing Mpoomy Ledwaba's book. Yay! So I'm going to be talking about the lessons that I've learned from how did we get here and what I actually think of Mpoomy and what I think of the book. So yeah, let's get right into it. Let's get into chapter 1 of this book. How did we get here by Mpoomy Ledwaba. So I really enjoyed chapter 1 as she spoke about her fallout with Bonolo. And when you hear the word fallout, you'd think that means they are no longer friends at all. But on the contrary, they are actually still friends. This relationship is growing and it's stronger, I believe. So this chapter taught me that it's okay to be confrontational, confront issues, confront the elephant in the room. Like sometimes when our friends hurt us or our siblings or our family hurts us, we just quick to sweep things under the rug and move on because we are afraid that the confrontation or the conversation or addressing the elephant in the room automatically means that we're going to ruin our friendship or our relationship. But sometimes you need to be confrontational in order to save the relationship, because at the end of the day, we bottle things up so much, and by the time we confront the situation or want to talk about it, we cannot even save the day because it has been so long. There's so much to unravel. And at that point, maybe both parties or one of the parties has already given up and they just don't want to try anymore. So it's important that we have uncomfortable conversations and confront each other about what's happening. So that's the biggest thing that I've learned. I also learned how that when you hurt someone, you should be accepting and apologize. Don't defend yourself, because you may have done the action without the intention of hurting them, but it actually hurt them. So acknowledge their feelings and don't be defensive about it. And accept when you're wrong, accept when you've hurt someone. That's one thing I liked about Mpoomy in that chapter. She also expressed how she noticed that she had hurt Bonolo. Sometimes it's not easy to be on the other end when maybe you're so used to being the one that's hurt, and this time around, you're the one that has hurt someone. So difficult to accept that, oh my goodness, this time around I actually messed up. So I really like that about Mpoomy. She did not be defensive about it. She accepted that she hurt someone and apologized. And the beautiful thing is they managed to reconcile and continue with their friendship till this day, which is so beautiful, because many of us, when we have these misunderstandings, we end up just canceling the entire friendship in totality, which is wrong, guys. Some friendships are destiny friendships and you will not find them again. So don't just think that because they hurt you or you had a misunderstanding, it's the end of the friendship. You can still fix and save the day. So in chapter 2, she speaks about her first heartbreak, which was by her father, right? I don't want to get into the story of what happened. You can go ahead and read the book. So that chapter for me made me realize that most of the time our parents are the first ones to hurt us, and it's very difficult to understand why would a person that loves you hurt you, right? But I love how she went into detail and spoke about her father's upbringing, his life, and the challenges that he faced, which gave us a bit of an understanding of the kind of person he is. And also, I believe it gave her some understanding of why her father would react a certain way, why he would do things in a certain manner. So I really love that that she spoke about her father's upbringing. And I think the same with us. Sometimes our parents have hurt us, but that's because of maybe the traumas that they have faced. They didn't know better. That's the only way they were raised. Information wasn't freely available like now, where you guys can get to do gentle parenting and stuff like that. So um, I think that this chapter was helpful in the sense that I learned that some of the actions that my parents may have done that may have hurt me could be because of what they have been through. This made me curious to want to know what my parents have been through, the struggles they faced, and the kind of parents that they had. What are some of the traumatic events that they went through? This, I believe, will help me understand my parents better and will help me to be able to give them grace. So I definitely want to have more chats with my parents and just find out about their upbringing, their lives, so that I can understand why they are the way they are. They're not bad people, but there's certain things that maybe my parents will do, and I'm like, but why would you do that? And now I think I understand that they also reacting from a place of trauma. And I can imagine for them it was worse because they never really got to go to psychologists and therapists. It wasn't a thing then. They just had to get over it. And unfortunately, those wounds keep bleeding and they bleed onto children sometimes. So I know some of us want to cut off our parents. Some of you want to be like, I don't want to even see them. Christmas, I'm not even going home because I know when I go there, I'm going to be triggered. But sometimes it's because of what they have been through, no excuses for what they do. Sometimes it's really who they are. But I think we should give our parents a little bit more grace. They grew up in a different generation, and sitting down and just finding out about their lives, their past, could help you understand them and could actually heal you as well, and could spark a conversation where you make them realize you did this and this to me and I didn't like that. And then that actually helps them to realize that their behavior was wrong, and you can get an apology and you guys can fix your relationship. Once again, not sweeping things under the rug. Okay, so chapter 3 was about siblings, right? She spoke about her siblings. She introduced us to her siblings and stuff like that. Honestly, it wasn't I'm looking at it now. It wasn't like a big deal of a chapter for me. But yeah, what I found interesting is when she said they found out that they have a younger sibling. Yeah, a 16-year-old or something, but a younger sibling. I was like, hey, families, guys, you think some situations are unique to your family, and actually, many families are going through the same thing. I'm not saying I have a younger sibling or anything, I don't know, but I'm just saying that some things are not unique to one family. But yeah, it was nice. It was okay. I don't have much to say about that chapter really. Okay, chapter 4. Chapter 4 is called Feel the Pain, right? I don't want to explain the stories of how or why I'm saying I learned these things, because like I feel like just go buy the book and then you'll get it, right? I also feel like it's a bit of an injustice to come and explain the book or her life here. So let me just talk about what I learned. I know I'm not going into detail about the stories or what she said, because I want you to go and buy the book and read it for yourself. But chapter 4, Feel the Pain. This chapter made me feel so emotional because I realized and acknowledged for the first time while reading this book that there's so many times when I've been hurt and I just didn't allow myself to feel the pain. I just moved on. I swept things under the rug. Like I didn't allow myself time to heal or to feel what I was going through at that moment. And a lot of people say, oh, Mukobe, you're so resilient. You're so resilient. And I agree. I am resilient. But at what cost, guys? I think because I have come to realize that I am resilient and people say I am resilient, I don't like to be down for too long. Like, I don't like being in a situation for too long. Let's say, for example, it's a heartbreak. I don't allow my heartbreaks to go over 3 months because I think to myself, I need to get up. I need to start moving. I need to move on. The resilience in me kicks in. And sometimes you're not ready to move on. Sometimes you haven't even healed and you're just rushing to move on because you are very resilient, and you just want to keep proving to yourself that I am resilient. I can overcome anything. So I think I've robbed myself a bit of moments where I could have sat with my emotions and felt. Guys, there's nothing wrong with um, going through your emotions and hurt for 6 months or even a year or as long as it takes. There are people that hurt and go through the healing process for 4 years while healing. I'm not talking about like going through pain for 4 years while you're not doing anything about it, but actively working on your healing for 4 years until it's completely healed. Not with me sometimes, eh? With me, honestly, I'll go through something now and it's hurting, and I'm like, we're moving on. Chapter closed. Next, let's go. Because I don't like to sit in my pain for too long. Like, I even say statements like, I'm so tired of this pain. When does it end? So sometimes my resilience comes with impatience and robbing myself of the ability to feel. So this chapter really reminded me to really feel and to go through everything that I am to go through in life, and not push myself to forget about the pain and just move on. Yeah, that's one beautiful thing that I learned. And I I need to give myself a break. I need to allow myself to rest. I think I even wrote it down. Yeah, because there's parts where you can write in the book. So I did write it down here that I didn't there's times when I didn't allow myself to to feel or to rest. Sometimes you just want to spring into action, and you're denying yourself the opportunity to rest after a heavy storm or during the storm. Jesus slept in the middle of a storm. So who am I to be out here doing heavy things during the storm? God says, be still and know I am God. Meaning that there are situations in life that needs you to just be still. Even though you're going through the storm, you must just be still. You know, things may be falling apart and you don't have a solution. You need to pray about this. It's okay to first take a nap, then wake up and pray, then wake up and brainstorm. But not me. I will not even allow myself to sleep at night. Even though I don't have a solution, I'll be trying to work. What should I do? Like this chapter, honestly, just reminded me that Mugabe, you need to allow yourself to rest. So it was a very beautiful chapter. It really got me emotional because I realized that sometimes I am denying myself the opportunity to heal the right way and at my own pace. My first heartbreak, and then she explained how she had a heartbreak because of a failed friendship. I love how she explained the friendship, created a nice build up that I fell in love with the friendship and I was rooting for the friendship, but unfortunately they had a fallout, and yeah, whether it was a fault or not, you can find out in the book. So yeah, they had a fallout and whatnot, and it really reminded me of how painful friendship breakups can be. Like, it's very painful, it's heartbreaking. I actually feel like a friendship breakup is worse than a relationship, like boyfriend and girlfriend breakup. Like, it's the worst. So I enjoyed reading it because it reminded me of my own friendship breakups. I've had more than one breakups, you know. And yeah, I reflected on it, and man, I was like, wow, okay, it's painful to lose a friend and whatnot, but I'm so happy that I've grown so much, and um I've healed. I've worked so hard on healing from my friendship breakups, which has done me a lot of good. So it really helps to work on yourself after a friendship breakup and heal. And I think that's what I really, really, really appreciated. Just going back again and sitting with those emotions and figuring out whether I still feel anything towards that. Do I feel any resentment? Do I feel anger? Do I feel, and actually, I don't feel anything anymore. And I was like, wow, okay, that means I have truly healed. If anything, I'm happier, I'm okay. I'm not going crazy about my friendship breakups. There was a time it was really painful, and I think I was going crazy because the pain wouldn't go away. But now I've completely healed, and I just realized that there's nothing there anymore. In fact, if I was to bump into them, I would probably even speak to them. And the old me used to be on some. I'll never talk to them. I'll never talk to Smanga. But now I'm just like, I'm over it. And yeah, I'm like, I did say in one of my videos that God has given me a spirit of forgiveness and ability to reconcile and to move on. Like the old me would be like, I'd never ever be friends with this person again. But now I'm actually um for the idea of reconciliation. I see how beautiful reconciliation is actually. So I'm just like, I mean, it's done, man. Things happen. Computers crash, relationships fall apart, people die. Anyways, yeah, but it was nice to for me to be able to reflect on my own failed relationships and realize that, oh, actually you've made so much progress. You are in a good position now, and you are much happier now, and you have forgiven those that hurt you, and you have forgiven yourself for hurting the ones that you did hurt, if there are any. But there are no unresolved feelings around my failed really no friendships. Okay, relationships or friendships. There's no unresolved feelings around my failed friendships, but I do feel that when I start building friendships again, I'll be a better friend because I've had so much time to reflect, had so much time to learn, and because of my new forgiving nature, I think I'll do just fine. Because for me, once a friend hurts me, it's done, it's over. I'm leaving this friendship. That's how it was. But God has given me a new heart and a new spirit, a heart of forgiveness, a heart that's open to reconciliation as well. So I think I've become a lot better, and I think I'll be a much better friend going forward. But it was nice to sit in this chapter and reflect on my own friendship heartbreaks. Chapter 8 spoke about an angry black woman, which is mostly how we grew up. We grew up with shouting parents, guys. You break the glass, you piece yourself literally because you like, my life is over. Now, the other day, my son broke the glass. I was saying sorry to him. Chosen. I loved part 2. This was beautiful. She spoke about quitting university, quitting her accounting degree, which was so beautiful. I mean, I'm not encouraging people to quit school, but I just think it's so beautiful how she just knew what she was called to do. And she didn't leave because she was failing. She left because she didn't want to do this. She knew she was wasting her time, and she just literally went for it and did what she wants to do. And I'm so proud of her for following the calling and doing exactly what God told her to do. So I found that to be very, very beautiful. Like, guys, I think I fear quitting stuff. I always go for the safe option. Like, if I have to go to school, I'll go to school. If I have to go to work, I'll go to work, right? The idea of just quitting work and starting my business like scares me so much. Just seeing how much faith she had in herself and the amount of fight she put out after that was like so beautiful. So I really admire her strength. I admire the kind of strength that she had shown with quitting and just having faith in what God called her to do. And we can see today, guys, you cannot tell me that you can't see that her work is great, her work ethic. Like, and I even understand why she works so hard, why she has such a great work ethic. It's because she cannot afford to fail. Literally, like, you quit school, you quit varsity. And when she said her dad pointed at the campus square board and said, at campus square rather, and said, you're gonna work there if you don't focus on school. Like, I think that's what drives her crazy. Hard. I cannot afford to prove my dad right. I don't know what drives her, but then for me, I've just understood why she works as hard as she does, because she cannot afford to fail, you know. So I really admired her for making the decision and following it and seeing it through and working as hard as she does now. Okay, chapter 11. Chapter 11 for me showed me that every experience matters. Everything that you go through really, really matters for career development. Yeah, for career development and character development and for the betterment of who you are. So I think everything that we go through is preparing us for where we are meant to go. Like the fact that she worked in Spur, for me, that was mind blowing. And I don't know whether it was in this chapter, I sort of forgot, but she also mentioned that She also mentioned that she she worked at Spur and she was an au pair. So just me thinking that this person worked at Spur, this person was an au pair, like the amount of humbleness, she spoke about living in back rooms. I was like, girl, we see all this success and we think it was built overnight. We see all these beautiful things and we think, girl, she's got it going. She has it going for herself. And yes, she does have it going for herself, but she worked so hard. She went through the most, guys. Like for me, I'm just like, girl, I admire you. Like your resilience, your fighting spirit, she fought. She really, really fought. So now I think I'm jumping into other chapters as well. So yeah, let me just summarize part two altogether in one. Um so I really like that she worked so hard. Like she knew she quit school and she didn't want to be her parents' burden. Her parents gave her the way, she chose a different way, and she made sure that her way works. The fact that she worked as an au pair. Girl worked hard, went on to do the nail certificate thing and the beautician thing and started doing nails. She really pushed, guys. And today we may look at her and think, oh, she's prideful, or she's a mean girl, or whatever. But, guys, this person worked hard. This person went through a lot, And to some extent, I understand why people may think she's a mean girl. She's a fighter. Oh, literally, when I was reading this book, I just thought in my mind, Mpoomy is such a fighter, and not a fighter in a bad way, but she fights for what she wants. Like she's got that drive to achieve what she wants, and that comes when you read her story. You start to understand why she's such a fighter. She wants to make it in life. She's a go-getter, and such people are normally misunderstood, So I really am inspired by her, just seeing how she didn't continue with school, how she worked hard, and she did whatever she could to make ends meet. Guys, working as an au pair, Pela, working as an au pair is working as a nanny. Kahle, you are a nanny. Yeah. Like au pair sounds nice. You are basically a nanny. You're taking care of somebody else's kids. You get what I mean? So I feel like she was so humble and she did whatever she had to make a living, which was so beautiful. I admired that about her. So yeah, I'm actually happy with that. With chapter 10, 11, and okay, I don't know how far the chapters go, but yeah, that's when she explained a bit about her life and Brendan's life. I also enjoyed the part when she spoke about her and Brendan's life. Brendan being on idols, staying in back rooms, you know, and the fact that they were not celibate, they were trying to be celibate, but they were failing. She was really vulnerable, honestly. In part two, she was so vulnerable. She spoke about the struggles that she faced, the struggles that Brendan faced. And what I basically learned is that sometimes we think that these people have an overnight success, and they don't. They worked hard to get to where they are. We quit when things get hard. We go to the next business plan when things get hard. Notice that I'm saying when things get hard, not when things are failing. The first sight of difficulty, we're going on to the next thing. We're abandoning this plan, we're going to plan B. We don't see things through. And that's what I learned from them, that they saw things through, guys. I can't imagine being on idols and staying in a commune back room type of situation, and working as an au pair. Man, no, Mpumi really worked hard to get to where she is, and I salute her for that. And I feel like we can all learn a thing or two from her, that when things get hard, keep pushing, keep going, and don't give up on your dream. She could have just given up and said, you know what, let me go back to school and do this the traditional way that everybody would expect me to, But she didn't give up. She went on and saw everything through. Um, I like the part where chapter 13, perfect is not perfect. I learned from her when she was starting her salon and everything. She went to her dad to ask for funding. Guys, how many of us have good business ideas, have a rich uncle, a rich aunt, but will never reach out. You just want some, I don't know, I'm going to find this. Use the people around you. If you've got a rich friend, use that rich friend. God has placed those people in your life for your advantage. So use them. So for me, one thing about her, she used her dad. She borrowed funds from him and he gave her the funds and she went and flew. And I like the fact how supportive her dad was. Like the fact when you read the dad's upbringing and where he is now and how he contributed to her success, I'm like, what a love, what a love. Mpumi's dad loves her. Like he showed so much love for her, borrowing her the money when she needed to start the business and saying he doesn't want the money back when it was time for her to pay him back. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. That I don't know. That for me is great support. So I really learned that, guys, sometimes we need to use the people around us. Use your parents while they still live. Don't be on some, no, I don't want to bother my parents. Call them and ask for a loan. She asked for 80,000 loan and he gave her. Sometimes your parents have this money, and if they don't, they don't. But use the people around you. If you've got rich friends, I ask them for funding, guys. Like, ask them to invest. And then chapter 12. Okay, so chapter 12 is basically where I spoke about her staying in back rooms and everything. I really learned that people don't just wake up and become successful. People work for their success. People go through various things for their success. So that was a very, very, very beautiful chapter. I enjoyed it. Chapter 14, I really love how their relationship started from zero and they worked their way up, guys. They didn't have money, these people, when they did their wedding. Like even the proposal, they didn't have money. Sometimes we are aiming up there. I want a guy that has this, that. And your man is right here. He just needs you to partner with him and you guys build together. And the grace of God upon the both of you makes you guys successful. That's literally what I learned. Like, that's literally what I learned, that you don't need a finished product. We are always looking for a finished product, but you don't need a finished product. Sometimes you just need to be in a position where um you open your eyes. Yeah, just open your eyes. The man that you're looking for sometimes is right in front of you, but because when you want a finished product, you must be working, must have this, must have that, must have that, you miss your blessing. So I'm not saying that don't have standards, have standards, but sometimes your blessing is right in front of you. Growing pains. From here, guys, I was doing notes on my laptop and my phone and everything. From here, I stopped doing notes because what in the vulnerability just happened? She tells us about her marriage, the struggles they've been having or they had at the time, how they almost even got to a point of divorce. Actually, they had decided they're going to divorce, and Brendan was now looking for apartments to stay in. Like, that was a scary chapter to read. Like, guys, do you understand what you guys were about to lose? You guys were about to lose each other. You guys have built this brand. You guys have built all these things, and now you want to give it all up. Like, it was so scary to read it. And I love how they fought. They fought for their marriage even at their last end. Just one decision that let's just enjoy this holiday, and changed everything. Then they got back together and they found each other again. So that was beautiful to read. Once again, I don't want to spoil it for you. Go buy the book and read it yourself. But it was so beautiful to know that they actually have struggles like any other couple. When you see them on Instagram at the festivals and everything, you think, oh my gosh, they have such a beautiful marriage. And you go home, you fight with your husband. Trina, you're not even doing this, you're not even doing that. And they have their own problems. So I loved that she was vulnerable to show us that they're not a perfect couple, but they love each other and their love keeps drawing them towards each other. And that's what we need sometimes, a love that keeps you drawn to your person, laying down your pride and just saying, okay, let's just enjoy this moment. Just that moment of laying down your pride. Let's just enjoy this moment could be the one that brings you guys back together. But if you're constantly living in pride, like, no, I'm not gonna beg her. No, I'm not gonna. I want to show her that I get angry. She must know that I get angry to the highest level. Like, Sometimes you're destroying beautiful things because of pride. So pride is not worth it sometimes. That's what I learned. I also liked the chapter where she spoke about the good wife, how she was trying to do this, do that to impress Brandon. And he wasn't there. He was like, no, I love you for you. You know, sometimes we want to be chosen so much. We want to be seen so much by people that have already chosen us. Like, you're already chosen. Why are you doing all these things? Sometimes we work so hard to be chosen, to be preferred. But them loving you already shows you that you're chosen, you're preferred already. You don't have to work too hard, because when you work too hard, you become frustrated that the other person is not doing enough, because you see the amount of energy you're using and you want them to use the same energy. It's not always like that, you know. So I really loved that she got vulnerable about that as well. Then she spoke about her third pregnancy. We know she has 2 kids, right? So she spoke about her third pregnancy. You can go and read once again. I found that to be beautiful, man. I mean, she spoke so well about her emotions and her feelings towards that pregnancy. She didn't even hide it, guys. She didn't even feel shame sharing that with us. Basically, chapter 15 to 19. I really enjoyed that chapter. Those chapters rather. It was so beautiful, just seeing her being vulnerable about her marriage, the fights they had and everything. It was really nice to know that they've overcome some challenges, and yeah, it was really nice to read that. I think she was genuinely vulnerable and she shared a lot, and I love that she's self-aware. She knows that she springs into action when things are going wrong, when where else Brandon wants to slow down, wants to take a nap, he rests. He can actually do something that some of us can't, rest in the storm. So which is beautiful. So just her knowing the kind of person she is versus the kind of person Brandon is in a crisis or in situations makes it so beautiful and makes their marriage more manageable, or they get to have more understanding towards each other. And like being frustrated that you're sleeping while we're going through all this, she understands that that's how he processes things, and she springs into action. Like she something could happen today and then you see her running tomorrow. That's because she springs into action, you know. So I really loved the fact that they're so self-aware, and that is a beautiful thing. I think everyone in a relationship should be self-aware, so that you're not constantly triggered or frustrated by yourself or the other person, you know, and you know how to manage your emotions. I think they also spoke about therapy, going for therapy and whatnot, which is beautiful. Couples really need to do that. And in part three, I so she spoke about trolls, stalkers, and friendship. And what I found to be profound is the fact that the day she was trending is the day when she was trending on Twitter, and people were having her for not being a good friend and whatnot. You guys remember that? She actually spoke about that day here. She had an interview with Casper. It's a big interview, right? And she has to go through all that, like trending, and you have an interview later on. Like that just showed me how great she is. Actually, she didn't fall apart. She still managed to get her work done, and which is a beautiful thing. It's really sad what some people had to say. Someone said she's a mean girl hiding behind church. I think that's such a mean thing to say to someone. People can be really mean, you know. But yeah, it makes it difficult for her to fully open up to people, I think, going forward, because like she was bullied, you know. So I think I sort of understand why even in the book she didn't go into too much detail with stuff. It looks like she wrote stuff and had her PR manager come and read everything and remove some things, you know. So because she's been bullied before and she could be misunderstood, and so I just think that was a tough time. What I didn't like about this part three is when she spoke about her failed friendships with her friends. And yeah, she just didn't go into detail. She gave us a PR answer. I didn't like that. I want to know what happened. Break it down. You know, bring the tea. And she didn't give us the full tea. So I was like, oh, girl, why talk about it if you're not even gonna go into detail? It seemed like she still is protecting the the mommy club friends. So I didn't like that. I feel like she should have just told her side of the story, because when you don't tell your full side of the story, it now looks like you didn't want to tell the full side of your story because you were the one that was wrong, and you don't want people to know that you did something wrong to end the friendship. That's how it looks. But I'm not saying that's how it is, but you leave room for people to question and imagine and imagine and imagine and ask themselves questions. Like, nah, you should have left it out. And then when you write another book like this in the future, then talk about it when you don't care a damn, like when you're 50 and 60 and you don't care a damn, you know? But yeah, I get her at the same time, because again, that time when she was trending, people were saying very mean things to her. So yeah, that's the only disappointment. And the rest of the book really, she talks about her career, Forbes under 30, the fact that she entered it twice and stuff like that. But yeah, then the rest of the book is about her career, the calling, at what cost, stuff like that. But all in all, I would say what I this is a very easy read. So if you want to read in 2025, I think you should get this book. The chapters are very short, which is a bit frustrating for people that are readers like myself. I find it a bit frustrating because I want you to go into detail. I want you to keep going, you know. You can literally finish this book in 2 days or 3 days, depending on how much you read. So I think it's an easy read if you're a new reader or a beginner. I think you can start here. It's a very good book. I would recommend. When I finished reading, I felt like my dreams are too small. Literally, I felt like my dreams are too small. I felt like I'm not aiming high enough, and I'm not springing into action fast enough. So when I read it, I realized that, you know what, you've got great dreams. And number one, you're not doing it fast enough. Number two, you're not dreaming big enough. Your dreams are great, but they're not that great. You need to dream bigger, you know, you need to aim higher. You need to set up a structure and a plan on how you're going to get there, because, girl, it's possible. She showed me that it's possible. Bob's 30 under 30. Come on. Come on. This girl is the girl that she thinks she is. And she applied twice, didn't give up. Come on. Come on. This is a university dropout, by the way, now best-selling author. Tell me that there's something you cannot achieve. Tell me there's something you cannot do. Tell me you need a university degree to become somebody in life. Tell me that after reading this book. I'm not saying that university degrees are not important. I'm not saying that school is not important. I'm not saying any of that, but I'm saying that if she dropped out and still managed to make herself somebody. Some people are literally buying this book literally because it's Mpoomy, not because they are readers or they like reading. Some people are reading a book for the first time with this book. She made a name for herself. She became somebody. So the biggest thing that I learned is that you can make a name for yourself. You can become somebody. You just need to work hard. Don't give up. Be consistent. One thing about Mpumi, she is consistent. Have a good work ethic. Don't be lazy. Be active, man. Run. Really, really want to say thank you to Mpumi for writing this book, and I hope that she'll write more books, and I hope that she'll continue to be vulnerable and teach us, you know. I really enjoyed this book, to be honest. There are there are some negatives, but I don't want to focus on those. I just want to focus on the positives, which is the things that I've learned, and the fact that I'm going to aim higher. I'm gonna go for my dreams. Like, I literally look up to Mpumi. Honestly, if she had some kind of mentorship program, I would definitely join, because what do you mean? What do you mean, girl? How do you work that hard? But anyway, thank you so much, lovelies, for watching. I hope that you will go and purchase yourself this amazing book. Like I said, if you are not a reader, this is a great place for you to start. The chapters are very short, so you won't lose interest quickly because you keep going. It felt like TikTok when I was reading this book. It felt like a TikTok book, because you know how the videos on TikTok are so short and you keep scrolling? It's the same with this. You just keep going to the next chapter. You just keep, next thing you know, you finish the book. So if you're not a reader but want to be a reader in 2025, start with this book. Please go buy this book. I don't know why I'm saying please and begging you guys to go buy this book as if I'm promoting. But anyways, let's support our girl. Let's learn from her. You know, I think there are great lessons that you can learn, especially if you are in your 20s. I don't know about 30s. I don't know about 40s. I feel like those people can do a book review for us, and then we'll know what they think or how they find the book. Other than that, thank you so much, lovelies. If you are inspired by what I've just done here, if you are going to get yourself this book, please leave a comment down below. And yeah, let me know what you think. If you've read the book, please let me know what you liked most about the book or what you learned from the book.